Now get an update on the coronavirus. Sky News reporting that a British scientist has apparently made a breakthrough in the race for a vaccine. Former FDA Commissioner Dr. Scott Gottlieb joining us now on the Squawk Newsline with his reaction. Dr. Gottlieb, of course, also a CNBC contributor and a Pfizer board member. Also with us on set to talk about the impact on business in China is Jim McGregor. He is chairman of APCO Worldwide's Greater China region. Dr. Gottlieb, we're going to start off with you here. Obviously, these reports, they're just reports. Are you finding some optimism, though, in them?
Well, I think that a vaccine strategy here could be helpful, but probably for what we might refer to as a second wave. I think if the virus itself does become, we do see outbreaks going into the spring and the summer, hopefully it won't become epidemic here in the United States, and the spring and the summer will present a natural backstop towards the transmission of a coronavirus. Then coming back in the fall, you might see the virus resurface, and at that point, a vaccine could potentially be ready and would be very helpful. But I think for the immediate future, where we're very likely to see outbreaks of this virus here in the United States, hopefully small outbreaks, the vaccine isn't going to be ready in time.
Yeah, and you wrote an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal, and basically the gist of and I urge people to go read it, but for those who haven't or haven't seen it yet, the gist is basically this. Anybody who has any kind of what looks to be pneumonia, even if they have not been to China or been around people who have just been in China, that you believe that we should start testing them for the coronavirus. But isn't there a risk that could set off an unnecessary panic?
Well, not anyone with pneumonia. So if you present with atypical pneumonia, you're negative for flu, and you're negative for a bacterial infection, and you're negative on what we call this multiplex test that tests for a whole panel of viral causes of pneumonia, and you still have a suspicious pneumonia, I think those individuals should be tested. We now see multiple nodes of community transmission outside of China in other countries where the virus itself is propagating in the community without any connection to travel to China. And it's likely that there's cases here in the U.S. right now where people are spreading this at a low level, we haven't detected it yet, who haven't traveled to China. Remember, we're just testing people from China who present with significant symptoms like a high fever or pneumonia, but only probably about 20% of people actually develop pneumonia from this virus. It might be even less than that. So for every one person that we catch, we might be missing 8 or 9 who had mild symptoms but didn't present to a doctor with them.
Jim, you're normally in Shanghai.
Yes.
But you're here.
Yeah.
When did you get here, by the way?
I left middle of January.
Okay.
Don't worry if I cough.
You're here because you're trying to avoid the virus, I understand.
Well,
correct?
I was on a business trip and then Chinese New Year's, and so I'm staying, and I don't know when I'll go back. That's the case with a lot of the expat business people. They left China for Chinese New Year's, and now they're stuck offshore, watching, waiting to see what happens.
So it's a reflection of the disruption. And what are your clients seeing as you...
Well, I tell you, I'm in touch with a lot of people running businesses in China, and they are hunkered down. They're checking on their employees every day in their houses. People are not leaving their homes except to go out and get vegetables. And I don't know when business is going to start up again.
Not to make talk unseemly about credit and loans and business, but it's a highly leveraged country with a lot of companies out there that have borrowed a lot, and the longer they are shut down, the less likely they can actually generate any cash flow and revenue to keep their business running and pay off those loans. I mean, could there be a very serious ripple effect beyond the immediate shutdown that we're talking about?
I think there can be a ripple effect, but I don't see it very serious. Remember, the 4 big Chinese banks are basically the finance ministry. They can handle anything for a while. I wouldn't go on gloom and doom, but this is going to hit the world because China's still the manufacturing center of the world. No supply chains are shut down. And the lead doctor in China who is monitoring the virus, he just came out yesterday and he said he originally predicted the peak would be now. Now he's predicting 2 weeks ahead. And businesses are planning on starting back at work on the 10th. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think this is going to keep rolling along. And even customs doesn't have people that can man customs. Everybody is wearing masks, sitting home, and people sending me pictures of just empty roads.
How long do you think this goes? I mean, how long do you think this goes on for?
This could go on for many weeks, couple months.
Couple months.
Yeah. People are scared. Remember, 5 million people left Wuhan before they clamped down on it.
Where'd they go? Where are they?
They're all over China.
That's my point.
And so people actually...
Dr. Gottlieb, you think it's going to get worse before it gets better?
Well, because of the measures that China implemented, you would think that you'd start to see a break in the transmission of the virus in China. I think it's going to get worse globally. We now see multiple nodes outside of China, Hong Kong being one of them. Thailand seems to be another where there's community transmission. So we could potentially see epidemic spread in those regions. Those regions still have travelers coming into the United States. So we will see more cases here, and a lot of them will be undetected. So I think we're going to have to grapple with outbreaks here in the U.S. I think we need to prepare the public for that. That does not mean it's going to become epidemic in the United States. I think we can still prevent that.
I'm hearing two things in this segment. One, Dr. Gottlieb is hopes about a vaccine are, way too hopeful. There's no way that they would be in time to deal with the immediate situation right now. And then you telling us that this is going on way longer than people expected. When back in China, they're saying we thought the peak would be now, and now we got to push it back. I mean, those are two very different things than what I was just thinking a few hours ago.
Yeah, the business is scrambling right now. Basically, foreign business right now in China is focused on helping China and getting supplies and getting masks. Mayors are calling up foreign business saying, please help us, which for the bold Communist Party that can control everything, they're showing all these vulnerabilities. It's amazing what's going on. What the repercussions of this are going to be, or the follow-on for business later, is going to be very interesting to see, because there's been big tension with the trade war between business and the government, and now the government is reaching out asking foreign business for help. So what's that going to lead to? I don't know. This is really a changing dynamic.